This is a ZTE mobile router, model number MF275R. This is a TELUS-specific variant. I want to use this in my car for a mobile hotspot. I already have an LTE antenna in the car, which I will wire up here. And the nice thing is this has 12 volt power in and a spot for a battery. When 12 volt power is disconnected, after a few seconds or so, it goes into a power saving state where it maintains an LTE connection and runs off the battery, and then when 12 volt power is reapplied, it will re-enable Wi-Fi and the Ethernet jack here. The stock battery is like 2000 milliamp hours, which is estimated to run for about 2 hours, which in a car that I will be driving every 3 to 5 days, which means this will only be charging every 3 to 5 days, isn't good enough. So I repurposed some old laptop batteries into a single cell battery here. So these 4 cells are run in parallel into a JST connector. And this worked perfectly for like 3 days, up until I realized that it doesn't charge. And the reason why it doesn't charge is because the connector that goes in here is actually a 3-pin connector. And what these 3-pin connectors are for is to have either a temperature sensor, or in this case, a battery state sensor. And I'm pretty sure what's going on is because I didn't wire that up, it doesn't know that there's a battery in here, therefore it doesn't charge the battery. So let's open this up and put that resistor in there to fix that. So this connector is what goes down to the battery. So let's take that out. And then we need to take this main board out, which involves taking out a few screws. So that is the main board. It is worth noting that when the main board is in, it does have labeling for LTE main and LTE aux. When the board is in the unit, the one next to WPS is LTE main. The one next to the power button here is the aux connector. And the board just pops out. So here you can see the 3rd pin, and I'm pretty sure that needs to be a 10k ohm resistor to ground. I have this one on a project board. I'm not sure if it is 10k, I don't know the color bands off the top of my head, but we can just probe it and see. Sure enough, it is a 10k. So need to desolder that, but I think it will just be easier to clip it. Having a surface mount resistor probably would work a lot better here. It's turning on, that's good. And that red light is for the battery, so I think the battery is pretty low. We have 2.9 volts on the battery. So let's just let it sit for a while. So after letting it sit for like 3 hours, I noticed that it had a repeated pattern where it would only put a few millivolts into the battery at a time. So it was at like 2.7 volts, then it went up to 3 volts and then 3.25 volts. So it's only charging a little bit at a time and then it would stop. Turns out that instead of a 10k ohm resistor, it needs to be a 22k ohm resistor. Red is low battery and blinking is charging. And now that I've added the 22k ohm resistor, we can see that it's blinking and the charging indicator is going up. So I'll let this sit for another few minutes. Then I will fix this resistor. It's been about 50 minutes. The charging indicator light has gone orange, indicating battery medium, and the battery voltage has gone up from 3.25 and is now at 3.86. So it's gone up quite dramatically. So I think I'm just going to leave it for another few minutes. The light has gone green and flashing. The green means highest state of charge. I think it's working pretty well, so I think I'm just going to turn it off and put it back together. I need to fix this up first. I'll try to see if I have a 22k surface mount resistor, because that will fit a lot better So I have this PCB from an old power supply, and I found this 20K resistor. 20K should be close enough to 22K, and it should fit nicely on that pad. Turns on at least. Okay, that's the Wi-Fi light. That's the battery, I think. It's saying low battery, but that's a lie. So a 20K is not close enough to 22K. Lovely. Gotta redo all that. So I went through my bin of scrap electronics and found this. A control board for a triplet distribution bar for a server rack. And on it, right here, is a 22K resistor. So now to take that off and put it onto the other board, I'm going to start by undoing my previous work. And let's remove our 19. So now, take our power wire, and get all of our stuff plugged in. And that's our Wi-Fi light again, red flashing, which is odd. The web UI shows that it is charging, so that should be showing medium battery charging. But I don't know, I'm just going to leave it for a few minutes and see if anything changes. If it's all fine, I'll put it back together. We're back to the yellow flashing light, so I'm going to turn it off and put it back together. So now I need to put shrink tubing over the BMS and find a way to put the bottom cover on. I have an idea. Wait, I need to put the shrink tube on first. Whatever, let's just see if the idea works. That works. Forgot to hit record on that, but what I did is I clipped off the through hole here for the screw mount and just put the wire through there. The wire will fit nicely like so on the inside. And it just fits like that. I mean, I can like epoxy that down